I refuse to adopt my stepdaughter.
She's gonna have to find new parents now.
I'm 30 female and my husband is 34 male and my stepdaughter is 12. My stepdaughter's mom passed away when she was 2 and I came into her life when she was 8. We have a close relationship that I feel is normal for a step-parent. She doesn't call me mom and that's okay. I want her to do whatever she's comfortable with. By the way, this comes from Rare Ranger 4056 and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
And OP says, these past few weeks she's been asking if I would adopt her. Apparently she had talked with my husband and he told her it would be a good idea to ask me. I told her to let me think about it. When I asked my husband why he thought adoption was a good idea, he said it would make her feel like family and prevent her from feeling different from our kids when the baby comes.
Real quick, PowerPoint.
PowerPoint?
I'm gonna need a PowerPoint 12-year-old.
Yeah, you have to give me good reasons why I should adopt you.
I'm gonna need a pros and cons list, and I need you to think about the cons here.
What can you do for me? Sharks, I'm here today to ask you to adopt me. Gotta do a shark pitch. I told him the kid's not even here yet, so if that's the case, then let her therapist talk to her about it first. He asked why I didn't want to adopt her. I told him that we aren't on that level yet. She doesn't call me mom and has never really treated me like a real mom, more like a bonus adult when she needs one. And I said that's fine. But if I adopt her, that means I'm her mom, and if she doesn't see me as mom, then why would I adopt her? I told her I wouldn't adopt her right now, and she was sad and started crying. It feels like she wants, like, this is kind of the way that she's transitioning into seeing you as mom.
Yes. Legally on paper.
Yeah, she's like, you're not my mom until it's legal.
Oh, but what if the school calls? They're going to call for my mom, and if it's not on paper, she can't call you.
You can't come. You just can't come. It's the rules.
I
see it in
to be
OPs.
real,
yeah.
I've met 12-year-old girls. Sometimes they can be evil. That was
So you
me.
think that she's got another plot going on?
I don't know why, but that is in the back of my head.
In the back of your head. Yeah,
that could be, from 12-year-old Riley getting rejected by the girls that were mean to me.
Yeah.
That could also be in my head.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe she just wants to be adopted, and that's it. No ulterior motives. I explained that she doesn't really see me as mom, and that if we got closer in the future, I would consider it. But I think she needs to understand what she's asking first.
How long has OP in?
4 years. So it's not like that long, but it definitely would be, fairly long for, a kid who's 8 years old and is now 12. Like, those are pretty
it's a third.
fundamental years.
Yeah, a third of the life.
She told her grandmother on her mom's side, and they said it was disrespectful of my husband to even suggest it, while his family thinks I should just do it to make the girl feel part of the family. I do think it's weird that the dad brought it up to his daughter before talking to OP about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like it could have been, hey, how do you feel about adopting her? Wanted to gauge your reaction. And then if OP was like, yeah, if she's down, I'm down.
Yeah.
And then you go to the daughter.
Yes. This feels like a little game of chess somehow.
It's like he's trying to trap. It feels like he's got the plot.
Yeah.
The main reason I won't adopt her is because I don't feel she's asking for the right reason. I think she's asking because she doesn't want to feel left out, not because she wants me to be her mom. Also, she has other mother figures. Her grandmother and aunt have done a lot of motherly things with her, and some people don't count them as mother figures, but I do. I never said adoption was off the table. It just mainly is for now until she gets older, understands it more, and wants me because she sees me as a mom. Let me explain what I mean when I say she doesn't treat me like a mom. If she was old enough to go wedding dress shopping, she wouldn't pick me for that. She would go to her aunt and grandma, and nothing's wrong with that since I'm not her mom.
I see what you're saying.
But I know if I had my own daughter, that's a mother-daughter experience I want. So for things you go to a mom for, she goes to them, and nothing's wrong with that. But if she was my daughter, I would expect her to go to me. Do I see her as my daughter? Kinda, I do. But I also see her as a stepdaughter. I know some people think feeling left out is a reason to get adopted, but in my opinion, it's not. For example, last year she was upset that we went to my mom for Christmas and she went to her mom's parents, so she felt left out. We said every other Christmas she could come with us and she was happy. If I adopted her, that wouldn't have fixed the issue at all. It would have just put a Band-Aid on it and she still would have felt left out.
Hot take, real quick.
Yes.
And now we're just giving our best advice. We haven't been through any of this before. So if you have, leave your comments down below. If I'm marrying someone and they have a kid,
Yeah.
I would try to be a great father figure. I'd probably try and put as much emphasis as I can. And hopefully, my partner in the scenario would too. Doesn't really feel like that's the focus of this family. So, this is why it feels
Yeah.
out of the blue to request this.
Exactly. It feels like OP wasn't trying to, pressure her stepdaughter into seeing her as any, in any type of way. She was just like, whatever you're comfortable with. And it doesn't seem like they have a bad relationship.
No.
But now it feels like the dad is trying to pressure it, probably because he's about to have a kid.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want my whole family to be, united and stuff.
Yeah. And right for the throat, he's going, rather than, hey, let's have a picnic, a family picnic. Let's, I don't know, go to a water park.
Yeah.
Do some family activities.
I feel like he could work on the bonding before he suggested the adoption.
See, before the adoption, I'm stepdad. Dude, we're playing Catan.
Yeah.
Dude, we're
every night.
Every night. We're
Catan.
Painting nails, getting some tea time going.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it all.
So if she feels like she doesn't belong, I'd rather figure out why she feels that way rather than adopt her and have her still feel that way about her calling me mom. I assume if I adopt her, she would call me mom since I would be her mother. But if she didn't, it would be okay. And I didn't tell her I wouldn't adopt her. I said not right now, and maybe later when she's 15 to 20 and we may have a closer relationship. We've already planned to do family therapy sessions again, and she's in therapy. And there are some comments. There's a couple. Do you have any thoughts before we get into these comments?
Again, haven't been through this before. I would try and be a mother figure if I was OP.
Yeah. I think they should have talked about it beforehand before they brought in the daughter. Because now she's going to be disappointed. She got her hopes up about this adoption thing and
hopes up at 12?
Well, it's like telling, it's like going to her, the 12-year-old and being like, we're going to Disneyland before talking to OP. And then OP's like, what? We don't have the money for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then OP has to be like, sorry, we're not going to Disneyland. Instead of just having the conversation beforehand.
That happened to a cousin of mine.
That's rough.
They went to Universal though.
Oh, that's something.
Because Disneyland was just super expensive.
It's
Disney
so
World.
expensive. Oh my gosh, yeah. Comment 1 says, agree with grandmother, should have been discussed with all adults before she was told to go and ask you. Reply, and since OP can't control what her husband does or change the crappy way he handled it, she should have had a talk with the stepdaughter about why she wants this and what she's hoping for in this situation. It looks like OP did a lot of assuming without actually speaking to the stepdaughter, which is just always a recipe for disaster. It's possible the stepdaughter genuinely wants to have a mother-daughter relationship with stepmom, but is worried about rejection or that stepmom doesn't view her that way. This fear would be amplified by the new baby on the way, a real child for the stepmom. A fear OP accidentally just confirmed, whether intentional or not. And how did the discussion between the husband and stepdaughter come about? Did husband recommend it out of the blue, or was the stepdaughter talking to him about something? Everyone sucks here between OP and her husband.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it does feel like, especially based off of the 12-year-old's reaction of crying, it does feel like she did really want OP to be a mother figure for her. And it feels like I would agree with that comment. OP did make a lot of assumptions. Yeah, she wouldn't go to me. She doesn't call me mom. It's like maybe she wanted to do all that. And this was the transition.
OP, maybe you needed to initiate some of that stuff.
Yeah.
As an 8-year-old,
well, you couldn't initiate calling me mom, but
well,
there are other things.
The thing she was saying, if she went wedding dress shopping, you could have been like, hey, would you like me to go with you?
Yeah.
Hey, you want to go get some, I don't know, fun coffee thing?
Yeah, I think there is. I don't think that you're wrong about wanting to make sure she knows what adopting her would mean. But I do think that the kind of relationship building falls a lot on you to kind of push for.
I agree. Because you're
the adult.
Old. Yeah.
Yeah. Comment 2 says, I think she's asking because she doesn't want to feel left out. Wanting to be on equal standing in your family is an incredibly valid reason. She's 12. She looks up to you. Think very carefully about what happens next. Reply, it was painful to read the post. All the adults in this stepdaughter's life are focused on the adoption because they think that's the issue, whether OP is a mom figure or not. But the real issue is, why does the stepdaughter feel she's going to be left out? And there is an update. Let's get into it. Update says, I'm back with an update and would like to clear up a few things. About Christmas, she spends it with her mom's side because they asked for that holiday. For people who asked why I don't go with her, it's because they don't like that my husband started dating before she was 18. He had to wait 10 years to date? That's insane. And they talked bad about me in their language, they're Hispanic, which caused a lot of problems between them and my husband. Sometimes he goes and sometimes he doesn't. People also asked if I take her out. During the school year, I let her pick if she has time to go out. On Friday, I have to pick her up early for a therapist, and then if she doesn't have schoolwork or projects that need to be done, we may go out for lunch and shopping or to the park or just do something. If you ask why not the weekend, she spends most of those with their grandmother and their family. Another thing people asked about was whether we had a conversation about this before marriage. It was touched on, and I told him that he would need to talk to everyone, including her mother's side, but then it never really came up again. So, on to the update. Last week, me, my husband, and my stepdaughter all talked about why she wanted to be adopted. To sum it up, when we have our kids, she doesn't want to have a different mom than them or be different than them, which we understood. We told her the reality of what would probably happen if I adopted her. We explained that her mom's side would most likely end up not speaking to her again. We would change her last name, she has her mom's, and probably her birth certificate. She thought about that and asked if she could still keep her last name and see her mom's side. We said maybe to the last name, since it's already hard enough when we go places and register her places and they wonder why we don't have the same last name. We also told her that her siblings' names would be hyphenated. We told her that her mom's side of the family is a wild card and that if they find that disrespectful and stop talking, we can't control them and make them talk to her. She talked about how she didn't want to lose them, and we just listened. But I don't want to lose you guys, so please go listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story.
That's so much for a 12-year-old to process.
Yeah, it's just a lot. She's just like, oh, wait, okay, I just wanted you to be my mom.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me if you are my mom, I lose my entire, maternal side of the family. And also I have to change my name. That's a lot.
For a 12-year-old to decide. And the way you were logically going through it.
Also, why would she have to change her name? It doesn't make sense to me because I'm wondering, if she already didn't have her dad's name, why?
I think for looks, because OP has her husband's last name.
Yeah.
And the stepdaughter does not have the husband's last name.
Does it really matter that much?
To them?
I guess so. The next few days, we went to her therapist, just me and her. Her dad had work that day and couldn't make it. Her therapist talked to both of us and afterwards said that if she was still persistent in around 6 months to a year, then go ahead and do it, but to try other options to make her feel like family and use this time to try to get the mom's side on board. But if we can't, then that will need to be a serious conversation that we need to have with her. Right now, adoption seems to be a temporary solution she created that will make things better. So the therapist wants every other monthly family visits with us to try to see if we can make a permanent solution to her problem. I think that's good. I think y'all went to therapy and realized, oh, you know what? We don't want to rush into this because it is a big decision for her as well as a 12-year-old. So I think this is a good idea. Take it slow.
More tea time.
Yeah, see if there's another way to fix this. And keep including her. Make sure she feels included.
Game nights.
Catan every night. But that's the end of that story, and we've got another one coming right up.
I had to hide my wheelchair from my stepsister.
She can't move.
I, 17 female, have misaligned hips, causing significant pain when I walk distances without assistance from a wheelchair or cane. I usually use the cane when going to the mall with friends since maneuvering the wheelchair is annoying there. But I prefer the chair because it allows a pillow on my bad hip. By the way, this comes from Turtle Fanatics, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And before we get into the story, note, we are here to give our best advice. We haven't been through all these experiences, so if you have, please put your comments down below. OP says, yesterday, my mom called to explain that my stepsister, 18 female, tore her ACL and needs to use my wheelchair after her surgery.
That's absolutely crazy. No, you can't have my wheelchair. I also feel like you can usually get it probably costs money, but you usually can get that as part of, if she needed it,
Yeah.
she might be able to get, a cheaper one as part of insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Because usually they give you crutches when you
also,
need them.
you're a Facebook post away from finding another wheelchair.
Yeah. You don't need OP's wheelchair.
But it has a pillow.
They can put a pillow in there.
She's
fine.
But it's OP's pillow.
She's fine.
I don't have any malice towards my step-siblings, but Mom married my stepdad right before the vid hit, and I've been stuck in my father's house during lockdown. Before, I'd only met them a handful of times. The issue is that the weekend she's planned to come home is the same day my friends and I are going on a colonial tour around the city for my birthday.
What's a colonial tour?
Hot take? Get to see Abe Lincoln, George Washington. People make bread with their fun dresses on.
Oh, yeah, they've got like one of those milk butter churners.
Of course you would think that.
What? A butter churner?
Yeah.
I love butter.
Your mind's so dirty.
What?
Do that again.
No.
The little movement.
It's a butter churner movement. It's a
get
butter churner movement.
Get your head out of the gutter, Sophia.
Your head's in the gutter.
We're going to have to work with.
Unbelievable.
I know. Agreed.
Unbelievable.
I asked if she could get crutches from the doctor instead. Mom said it would come out of pocket since her insurance won't cover it. My father's plan covers mine as a child. I told her that stepsister could have my cane, but I need my wheelchair since the tour involved a whole day of walking. My mom got annoyed and started sighing while shaking her head like I wasn't understanding. It's an ACL. She needs the wheelchair. How could you?
She needs it.
Yeah, you really can't walk, but she needs it for the ACL.
She needs it for it. I don't know. It's slightly uncomfortable for her.
Again, if you really wanted a wheelchair,
just ask someone to carry you, OP.
Yeah, carry you. Or one Facebook post away, go to a church, go to like a, I don't know, women's shelter, something.
Or like ask around, see if anyone else you know has got crutches.
I could get a wheelchair today, posted on social media.
Yeah.
Today.
She
said I could use the cane, but the wheelchair was going to my stepsister. Or I could reschedule for another weekend, which would likely never happen since there aren't any refunds and I don't have enough money for new tickets that I paid for with my own money.
And also it's OP's birthday.
Let her have her own wheelchair for her birthday.
It's literally her birthday.
Can I have the keys to my car for my birthday since I'm going to go get Korean barbecue?
I'm borrowing your car.
I need the keys to my car for my birthday.
I'm borrowing. Can you take a bike?
No.
To K-Town?
No.
That would be crazy, OP.
That's the same scenario.
Yeah.
I said rescheduling was fine since it was my birthday weekend, but she'd have to pay for our tickets for us to go again. She scoffed and said that would cost more than buying crutches.
Well, perfect. Then you can buy the crutches.
I tried explaining it would be cheaper than buying a new wheelchair like mine. She kept shutting me down, saying my stepsister would get the wheelchair for the weekend and I should make do with the cane.
No.
The argument escalated until she ended it with, "I'm not asking, I'm telling," and hung up without saying another word.
If you're at your dad's, then just don't give it to her. What's she gonna do? She gonna steal a wheelchair from you? She gonna commit a heist?
OP, you have the potential to do something really petty here.
What?
So petty.
What?
Give him the wheelchair.
Sabotage the wheelchair. Take out all the bolts.
I was saying, give him the wheelchair, put a lock on it, and the lock is your birthday. And if they know, they know what your birthday is, then
they can free it.
Sure. Or if you have a really complicated wheelchair, if you get purchases sent to your text messages from your stepmom, then it unlocks it.
Brilliant.
Feeling spiteful, I asked my friend if I could store my wheelchair in her trunk for the trip. I was planning to go to her house after the trip anyways. My plan was to play dumb, saying I forgot it or something. It didn't help my mood when I looked up crutch prices and saw she was looking at brand new ones rather than secondhand sites where they are a quarter of the price. All right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that, like...
How much do you think it is?
I don't know, crutches?
Yep.
Well, I don't know, 30, 50 bucks?
Okay, guess how much a wheelchair is?
A couple hundred, probably like 400.
Okay, crutches, right now, $22
Oh, dang.
on Amazon.
Dang, cheap.
For a cheap one on Amazon, $120.
For a cheap wheelchair?
Yeah.
Dang. Well, OP's wheelchair is probably more, though.
Yeah, but you don't. It's an ACL, dude.
Yeah.
It's
You're fine. You're fine.
She can hop on one leg. Also, ACL. What's those fun little scooter things?
Yeah. Get her one of those scooters. Those ones are so much more cool. Little ACL scooter.
Is that
What?
ACL scooter?
Yeah.
That's so funny. All the things that drive are like $2,100.
Dang, that's expensive. I honestly think that like insurance probably did cover a little bit of the price of the crutches, but she just didn't want to pay anything. She just wants it free.
It's called a knee scooter, by the way, for anyone that is looking
Good
this
to
up.
know.
Okay, they're like 150, 125, $100. Yeah, $100.
Okay, so get a knee scooter. Save $20.
Boom. When I tried to screenshot some and send it to her, she simply replied, "We already have the wheelchair, so it's fine." I feel like a knucklehead for hiding my chair, but this will be the first time in years I'm actually celebrating my birthday, and I don't want to spend it in pain or resenting my stepsister for making me lose a lump sum of money I worked overtime for. Either way, I'll be agitated because Mom won't listen to my suggestions or see things from my point of view. We have an edit. A few points to clarify. Yes, I'm turning 18 next week after stepsister surgery. I pointed out both Amazon and CVS $40 crutches to Mom before, but we already have your wheelchair answer. I asked why she's so set on having my wheelchair this morning, and she replied that stepsister doesn't want crutches. She wants my wheelchair due to all the padding and extras I've added over the years.
Well, she can't have my wheelchair due to all the padding and things I added.
I want to take your car because you spent so much money on it and it goes really fast. This Honda isn't fast.
It's not fast at all. It's like, yeah, you're in a race and you're like, well, I want the car that's all souped up.
Yeah.
I don't want my little Toyota.
I was going back to the K-Town thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, they're both going to get you there.
Yeah, man.
One probably a little faster and more comfortable, but dude.
It's an ACL. You're fine. You don't need it. I mean, like, obviously ACL, to be clear, does hurt.
Yeah.
It does take a really long time to heal, but OP will never be able to walk in the same way that, you know, her stepsister probably will be in a year or a couple months.
Yeah. That really got under my skin, and I haven't spoken to her since. I'm having a long sit down with my dad when I get home, mentally preparing for the fallout.
Also, if she needs, you know, if the ACL surgery, you know, is so bad that she needs a wheelchair, then this is just a temporary fix anyway. Because she's only having it for the weekend. Is she going to keep borrowing it from OP and they're going to, like, have joint custody of this wheelchair? Or are you going to get another one later?
I was hoping that OP could talk to the stepsister.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I love you, girly.
Can't give this to you.
Can't give it to you. I just want to give you a heads up before you get mad. But also, I'm getting a hint that the stepsister would be a brat about it, and you can't even make amends on that end.
Yeah. I feel like they're probably just like their mom.
Oh, boy. I think they're going to kick her to the streets since she's 18 with no wheelchair.
I hope not. Well, no, they can't because OP lives with her dad right now. Or is staying with her dad. So, like, OP would be fine even if they didn't let her come over to the mom's house.
Update. I'll be the first to admit that I'm an idiot sandwich. After reading all the comments, I was going to speak to my dad about the whole situation, but being me, I simply said that stepsister was getting surgery so Mom wouldn't have time for me to hang with her. So I also asked if he'd be fine with me staying the weekend since I'd be gone all day with friends, and they were even talking about getting dinner afterwards. No use going to Mom's, which is 3 hours in the opposite direction.
Dang.
I had a ton of fun during the tour.
Woo.
Let's go.
Yay, you got your tour and you had your wheelchair.
Let's go, Queen. It was really amazing. My friends kept rotating who would push me since people would move me forward for the best view. To anyone apprehensive about doing activities with a visible disability, wheelchair, cane, guide dog, etc., I couldn't express how fun it was during the tour and at the restaurant. I used to have the mentality that I was always in people's way and was used to getting stared at with my cane. But having friends show up with a small cape for the back and other trinkets really gave me confidence. And if I ran into anything, I could blame it on the person driving.
Aw, that's sweet. I'm
That's
glad
so
that you
cute.
have friends who like actually recognize that you have a disability rather than your mom and like are supportive of you.
One time, I had a friend. I would go and play basketball at different places around the county, and my friend's dad was in a wheelchair. Kyle Justice's dad, Ron. And he would always be in a wheelchair. And one time he was like in front of a door, just kind of like hanging out, and this one person like opened it and hit him. And he's like, "No, I can't walk anymore." And they were like, "I'm so sorry." He's like, "It's fine. You're okay."
Already couldn't walk.
I also will never, ever, ever use a handicap stall again, because one time I did when I was in like 7th grade.
Oh, like a bathroom stall?
And then he came to use the bathroom, and I was in the handicap stall,
Oh,
and I was like,
dang.
and I had to like hear him move around to get in the other stall, and I was like, dude, I could have just easily went there, because you never
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
oh,
They're just bigger.
yeah.
You're like, oh.
Honestly, I never thought that people used handicap stalls because they were handicapped. I just thought they were just bigger
Big
bathrooms.
stalls.
Yeah. And then that day I realized, oh,
Yeah. Well, sometimes also in the women's bathroom, it's because they have like the baby changing station.
got it. Well, I was neither. They
Yeah.
have that too
You weren't
sometimes.
changing your
dads.
baby or handicapped. You're a bad person.
I was. I felt horrible. Oh, man. The idiot sandwich part came when I was on my way home, and I got a livid phone call from my dad. He said that mom had been trying to call me all day. I had blocked her number, and she claimed that both mom and stepdad were at the house asking for the wheelchair since I had promised to give it to them. When I clarified that mom had said she wanted to use it, I told her about the trip so I couldn't let her borrow it. By the time I got home, mom and stepdad were already gone, and dad was waiting on the porch smoking a cig, which meant he was very stressed. My friend asked if I needed help getting my wheelchair into my car. I said no, since it's harder to yell at a person in a wheelchair.
Smart.
He found it funny. Dad didn't. Dad said he told mom to buzz off. She tried using the "it's my kid" logic, but it doesn't work since I was already 4 hours away. She then proceeded to throw a tantrum in our front yard, throwing herself on the floor and crying.
That's so embarrassing. I'm sorry, she threw herself on the floor and started crying? That's so embarrassing.
Let's think about the logic here. Mom is 3 hours away from this house. COVID time.
Yeah.
You know, gas is pretty cheap. Things are pretty
That's true.
tough.
She drove 3 hours. Well, it was 3 hours in the opposite direction of
The tour.
the tour, so maybe not necessarily.
An hour.
Yeah, let's say
An
like an
hour.
hour
Hour
from wherever they were going, hour and a half. She drove an hour and a half to steal her daughter's wheelchair and then threw a tantrum on the floor.
You could have spent 20 minutes driving somewhere if you called around to pick up a wheelchair.
Also, just like gas prices.
They were pretty good during that time.
Yeah, but like I'm just thinking, you know, how much you spend on gas for like
There
3
and
hours.
back.
Yeah, just buy some crutches.
And I bet you they definitely
$20.
stopped by the gas station and got drinks and stuff.
Yeah, I'm
And
like,
got
oh
lunch.
come on, you can spend $30.
Yeah, OP sent her $40 crutches.
Yeah, you can spend that.
It really doesn't surprise me at this point. Stepdad just gathered her up into the car, and they left shortly after. Quite the show from what Dad said. Even some neighbors came out to see what the fuss was about. I haven't heard anything from her since I got home, but I did get a random long paragraph text from what seemed like the POV of a punted dog saying, "How could you do this to me?" And "I thought we were family." Not sure if this was from my mom or stepsister. Since I've blocked that number as well, I don't really care at this point. Dad is still agitated at me for not telling the whole truth, but seeing as it's my birthday soon, I don't see him staying angry for long.
Yeah, you can't stay mad at you. It's your birthday.
Yeah, you can't be mad at your disabled birthday girl.
Yeah, that's probably what I can see based off of this post. I feel like OP is being like, but Dad, I can't walk and it's my birthday.
Come
You
on.
can't be mad at me.
And he throws her like a pack of cigs.
Yeah, and he's like, all right.
You're good. Oh, man. As for going no contact with my mom, it's up in the air. It's easier to say, don't ever talk to her again, especially when I see others with their moms. But I guess it's time to see her for who she is rather than what I want her to be. Edit, It's nice to know others have strained relationships with their moms. Everyone I know is pretty close with their parents, so I found myself trying very hard to have the same relationship. I've since gone over the video in our Ring doorbell to see what had happened. Although you can't really see what's happening, you can definitely hear mom screaming over anyone who tries to tell her either to leave or calm down. She always demanded to see me. That's when my dad told her to buzz off, which set off the tantrum. It would be funny if it was in a compilation somewhere on YouTube, but it's just sad at this point. By the way, you can never be sad going on your favorite podcast platform, searching up OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Apple, or Spotify. And we have so many stories just like this for you. As for my dad being angry, he came in this morning asking what we were doing for my birthday breakfast. He's used to my mom being a little out there. I've since shown him my post, and he told me about some old wounds I'd forgotten about. For example, my mom had gone on a camping trip with her boyfriend at the time. During the week, she was supposed to have me 50-50 custody. She didn't call dad until 3 days later, saying she wasn't getting a signal. She still didn't come and get me until the next switch. I really didn't want to go, but still hurt as a kid waiting in the car for your other parent just to not show. Dad dragged her back to court to get primary custody, and if you know anything about family court, a father getting that is pretty hard. But
Dang.
OP, I hope you're rolling around, having a great time,
Yeah.
and more tours are coming your way.
Yeah. It seems like at least your dad's, willing to fight for you.
Yeah.
That's good. Seems like you have one good parent.
And you have some cool friends.
Yeah. It seems like your friends are super supportive, which is great. But that's the end of that story, and we've got another one coming your way. My half-brother's stepmother blamed me for being a bad influence.
Be a better one then.
I, 17 female, have a half-brother, 8 male. We share a mom, but have different dads. I don't see him often since he primarily stays with his dad, who I'll call Jeff. By the way, this comes from Mother's Secret Lover. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
And we haven't been through every situation that we read about, but we try to give the best advice we can. If you've been in these situations, let us know what you would do. OP says, Jeff has been married to Amelia for a few years now. She has 3 kids prior to their relationship, and now she and Jeff have had 2 more kids together. None of their children are old enough to drive. Amelia doesn't like me because she sees me as an extension of my mother. They had a falling out since my mom dated Amelia's brother. Whoa.
Oh, boy.
Wait, what? Wait, sorry.
Uh-oh.
Jeff married Amelia.
Yep.
And then OP's mom and Amelia were friends?
Yep. And then OP's mom dated Amelia's brother.
Dang. Wow. Who turned out to be harmful, and Amelia called my mom a liar. I don't want to force a relationship with her, so I just leave it alone. I rarely see my brother outside of birthdays and have no relationship with his step/half siblings. I live very close to my brother's school, and while I generally don't like kids or being around them, I've agreed to pick him up from school a handful of times when Amelia couldn't. Jeff's hours don't allow him to do so, and she's a stay-at-home mom. This all happened this past May. I'm fairly alternative, dyed hair, and multiple facial piercings, and I'm used to getting odd looks or questions from children. But I never had to get out of the car to pick my brother up, so this was never an issue. My brother was sick and needed to be taken home early, so Jeff called and asked me to pick him up. I wasn't busy, so I agreed. This was the first time I'd needed to actually enter the building, but I was on the approved pickup list, so I didn't have any issues. I went inside, got to the nurse, got my brother, and dropped him off back home with no problems. Until Amelia called me the next day.
What did she do wrong here?
Oh, Amelia. I was unaware she even had my number, so I declined her calls at first. When I finally answered, she began to scream at me for getting her in trouble with the school.
Huh?
What? What's the issue here? I asked what she meant, as again, I had no problems picking him up, and she started to berate me for scaring my brother's classmates. Apparently, one of the other children in the nurse's office had been scared of me, as well as a few kids asking questions when I walked past open classrooms. I don't have any extreme body modifications, literally just hair and piercings, but the boy from the nurse cried to his teacher, same class as my brother. That's ridiculous. That little boy needs to get over it. Why is he crying about hair? What the heck?
I'm trying to think through this kid's mind. Because kids react all crazy and whatever. But, I don't know.
No.
The kid can react that way, but
but
the adults,
yes.
But the adults are like, oh, yeah, that's just how people are.
Yeah, it's
sometimes.
Then you go and have a conversation with the kid and be like, no, like everyone looks different. And, she's not scared. She's really nice. She's just picking up her brother.
Mm-hmm.
You explain things to them.
Yep.
That's why, like, let's say a person doesn't have, I don't know, an arm. They're missing an arm. And a kid goes like, why doesn't that man have an arm? And starts crying. You'd be like, no, people have different, bodies. And we explain this politely.
The memes with kids looking at people that are like disabled and like, what's that? Why is your arm all messed up like that? Why do you have a robot hand? What do you do with that?
Yeah.
Are you a robot?
Kids don't know what they're talking about. That's what you explain to them.
Yeah, and they're 8.
They're 8. The teacher then notified Amelia and requested I no longer do pickups. I don't even think this is legal. Maybe not the right word, but I mean, I should be able to make a complaint about her requesting this since it was based on physical appearance. I caused no disruption, and the only people I even saw were the secretary, front desk admin, the nurse, and the kids in the nurse's office. Either way, Amelia told the teacher that was not an option, but she would tell me to take out my piercings next time I was at the school. I feel like multiple empty holes in my face would be scarier than piercings, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay, I'm gonna need a picture of what you look like now, so I can really understand.
I need to know if an 8-year-old would be scared of you for real, or if that was just a sensitive 8-year-old.
Yeah, is there like, I don't know, a celebrity or someone you could show us so we can kind of get the vibe?
Yeah, just tell us exactly what piercings you have. I told Amelia I would not be taking out my piercings every single time I picked them up, and that usually I don't even go inside the building or see anyone for this to be a problem. I don't pick them up often, but I have quite a few piercings. It takes me around an hour, sometimes longer, to take them all out, clean them, and put them back in. Those little balls are obnoxious to screw back in with long nails and shaky hands. While I wouldn't be cleaning them every time I picked them up, it is a long and tedious process that I don't like to do more than necessary. She told me it wasn't a big ask, and while I agree it mostly isn't, I feel more disrespected than anything because I think that's a fairly unprofessional way for the teacher to behave. Amelia told me the teacher had every right to protect her students. How are you protecting the students?
Everyone close your eyes, she's back.
That's absolutely ridiculous. What exactly are you protecting your students from?
Literally, that's the easiest thing you can do to protect the students from this. Oh, everyone, watch out. There's someone has a tattoo. Close your eyes, hurry. Go ahead. Oh, no, this person doesn't have a leg. Guys, close your eyes.
Close your eyes.
It's a robot leg.
And that either way, I shouldn't be punishing her because she wasn't the one asking. I was even more offended by this because I'm not a threat or danger. I literally am just alternative. I realized I didn't mention this before, but my outfit was also entirely appropriate. It was plain black sweatpants and a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles shirt. Amelia said this was the reason she didn't allow me to be around her kids. I've never asked to be around them since I don't like kids. I said if she has an issue with me, she can lose my number and find someone else to pick my brother up when she can't. She continued to scream at me and tell me I was just like my mom, which was when I finally hung up and blocked her. When you're trying to get someone to do something for you, it's not helpful to scream at them.
Unless you don't want them to do it again.
Unless you don't want them to do that thing.
Which, I'm getting that vibe.
I've seen my brother maybe twice since then, since I primarily communicate with him through Jeff. We play Roblox together, but he doesn't have a phone or social media. Jeff told me he was disappointed, and I told him he has no authority over me, so I don't really care what he had to say.
I told Jeff he's 8.
Yeah. Well, no, Jeff's not 8. Jeff's her dad.
Oh, Jeff's disappointed?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the 8-year-old was disappointed.
That'd be funny. I'm disappointed in you. I don't care what you have to say. You're 8. Let's play Roblox.
Get on here.
The issue hasn't been discussed since then until today. My brother starts school next week, and Jeff called me and told me Amelia requested I started picking up my brother up again. I said no and reminded him of what happened last time. He began to get very aggressive, saying that they weren't asking for much. I told him it was no longer about the request, and it was how his wife spoke to me. I said I wouldn't do them any favors of any kind. He began to guilt trip me and ask how my brother would feel knowing his sister can't stand to be around him, and threatened to not let me come to my brother's birthday in a few weeks. I told Jeff I don't care about not attending my brother's birthday since I don't even like kids, and I would just see my brother another time. He told me he wouldn't let me be around my brother until I apologized to his wife and agreed to pick my brother up from school again. I told him I would only agree to pick my brother up with an apology from Amelia, and hung up. This puts me in a kind of difficult position because I could just see my brother when he has visitation with our mom, but we aren't on speaking terms right now. I would have to break our temporary no contact in order to do this. I live with my dad and his mother and see my mom 1 to 2 times a month max. My dad and grandma say I should just suck it up and apologize to Amelia. They don't have a good relationship with my mom, and she hasn't been allowed to step foot in the house since I was 12. But I really don't want to do this. Me and my brother aren't particularly close, but we have a good relationship, and I don't want to jeopardize it because of an issue I have with his stepmom. I know he enjoys spending time with me because I'm his only sister. All of Amelia and Jeff's kids are boys, so I don't want to hurt him over this. Am I the a-hole for refusing to pick my brother up from school until his stepmom apologizes? And there is an edit, but what do you think OP should do?
Just not pick up the brother. I don't know, write the brother or get the brother like a little gift. Like, yo, man.
The thing is, they need you more than you need them.
Exactly. All I see is you helping and them being, I don't know, I guess, like angry that you helped or helped in your own way and not by their ways. And then now is demanding you to help more.
Yeah.
How does that make any sense? You just don't help anymore.
Yeah. I think if you could like figure out a day where you could go talk to your brother and say like, hey, still love hanging out with you. If they say that I don't, that's not true.
There's some big adult problems. You don't even want to know. Big adult stuff. Oh, what's that? So you know how Godzilla and King Kong like had that movie where they were fighting each other? And then you just explain it that way.
But 8-year-olds are pretty smart. I feel like when you're 8, you can kind of figure out what's going on.
Dude, my brothers when they were 8 were very too sharp.
No, I've babysat a lot of 8-year-olds. I feel like
very witty.
I think people kind of misunderstand, not parents, but people don't have kids, misunderstand like when a kid starts to be able to, really understand things. And I feel like, around like 5, they're talking in full they get things. They understand what's going on.
Especially the youngest brother out of 4. Like Ryder was walking like, I think like 14 months in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was
like 2-year-olds they're running around. 2-year-olds are crazy. 2-year-olds have so much energy.
Especially if they were born during the vid years.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a COVID baby?
I have.
They're somehow have superpowers.
Dude, I had to babysit a 2-year-old who this was in 2023.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, she was so cute, but she had so much energy. I would babysit her for 5 hours at a time, like every time I would go, and literally would not stop running in those 5 hours. Like we would do laps around the house because I don't know, our games were always some sort of tag related thing.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, with toys, but it was literally like constant running. I got such a workout.
That's crazy. I would love
they figure out how to walk and they just go.
If I was a babysitter and your kid has a bunch of energy, I would love to come with a clipboard and just have a list of activities and see how many reps I can do with this kid before they get tired. Yeah. Tag. They seem to like this tag thing. All right, go. Go. Go.
You just tire them out. Well,
100 times later.
OP,
this is great.
You need to tell your 8-year-old brother that you
love him.
You love him. Yeah. Edit. A few of the replies seem kind of confused since the post is long. To clarify, I'm a girl and I have 0 relation to Jeff or Amelia. Me and my brother share a mother and stay with our respective fathers, his being Jeff. Amelia is Jeff's wife, my brother's stepmom. I do not live with Amelia and Jeff. It's crazy that, like, I think I understood that, but just having that laid out clearly, it's pretty insane that they're expecting so much of OP, but also being rude when they're asking for this favor. Crazy. I've decided to take advice from a few comments and call the school and ask if there's a policy stating I cannot pick my brother up with facial piercings. That's also a probably better idea because that way you can just go back to picking them up and don't have to take your piercings out.
Straight to the source.
I will likely either agree to disagree with Amelia depending on how the call with the school goes and her reaction, or resume contact with my mom to see my brother during visitation. Thanks for the advice. And there is an update.
Okay.
Let's get into it. I did what many of you said and emailed the school to ask if there was any policy stating I couldn't do pickups or drop-offs or be on campus due to piercings. Like most of you said, They said no.
Oh.
Do you think that Amelia lied about it just because she didn't want OP to wear piercings?
Probably. I would also ask that.
Yeah.
Hey, I was in here a few weeks ago. I upset a kid. Are they okay? Is everything okay?
And then they're like, what kid? What are you talking about? I explained why I was asking, and they said they would ask the teacher about the incident, but told me there was nothing they could do if Amelia took me off the pickup list. I thanked them and gave them my number, requesting they call me once they were done investigating the incident with the teacher. The next day, the school called me to let me know the teacher confirmed there was a staring issue and a few questions from my brother's classmates. I had stood in the doorway and waited for him to collect his things after checking him out of the nurse's office, but that was all, and she did not say anything of the sort to Amelia. Oh, well. I decided to call Jeff and let him know about my conversation with the school and reiterated I would only continue to pick my brother up with an apology from his wife, or at least some kind of acknowledgement that she had lied to me. He told me he would have Amelia call me, so I unblocked her and waited.
Dang, it looks like
Dang.
you have all the cards in your hand, OP.
Yeah,
and they
nice.
have none.
None of them.
Oh, wait, they do have one. The blame card. And it's not working.
Not working. She did call to apologize, but it was very reluctant, and she dropped the bombshell that she's pregnant again and used that as an excuse. Come
Dang.
on.
She had the pregnant card.
She's like, I just reacted so badly because I'm hormonal.
Hormones. Dang it.
That's it.
We should,
Yeah.
you know what would be funny is if we
What?
had cards, like, there's like a Yu-Gi-Oh game where like you can put a card down and it has different effects. I guess like Pokemon too.
I play hormonal.
I play pregnant card. Effects, hormones, and cons. Like, I don't know. Could cause
Hormones.
this. Yeah.
I decided to just let it go because I don't want to damage my relationship with my brother, and it just wasn't worth it. Until today, when I picked my brother up, he asked why I have so much metal in my face. He's never said anything before about the piercings unless I've gotten a new one, so I asked what caused him to bring it up. Again, a lot of you were correct. One of Amelia's older sons had asked to get his ears pierced, and she attributed it to me, even though I never see my brother's step or half-brothers. She's been complaining about it often around my brother, I guess trying to bait him into saying my piercings bothered or scared him too. I asked him if they did scare him, and he said no, and he doesn't really think about them. But Amelia constantly said things like, I just don't understand why she does that to herself. She's so pretty without the metal crowding her face. I'm not sure how relevant this is, but her and my mom were close friends before their falling out. Amelia has a son about 1.5 years younger than me, not the one asking to get his ears pierced, and she often joked about setting us up before I started leaning more alternative. That's weird. I know that you guys aren't related at all, but it just feels weird. To want to set up your son with your stepson's half-sister. That's weird. I think that's where the she's so pretty comments come from. I was frustrated but didn't want to upset my brother, so I just decided to change the subject. Instead of dropping my brother off and immediately leaving, I told Amelia I wanted to come inside and speak to her.
Uh-oh.
She told me it wasn't a good time, and I insisted it was. So she came outside and we talked on the porch. I told her again that if my piercings were an issue, she could find someone else to pick my brother up, but I would appreciate it if she stopped complaining about them to the rest of the family. She told me it was none of my concern what she said in the privacy of her own home, and I said it was my concern when she was actively trying to bait my half-brother into speaking negatively about me. But I would never speak negatively about you. If you listen to full episodes with stories just like this, just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
She played the hormone card. She tried to, and you called her bluff.
Yeah, I also like that she was like, oh, it's not a good time. And OP was like, yeah, it is.
It is.
We're
for
going to do it
me.
right now.
I love the tenacity. Is that the right word? I love the tenacity you have here, OP. And I wish more people shared this when calling others BS out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going through a situation right now where I need to call some BS out. I don't have the tenacity to do it.
You got to keep pushing.
Can you lend me some?
Yeah. Hand some over, OP. She again told me she could say whatever she wanted in her own house, and I was just too tired to argue.
Dude, okay, real quick on that comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want in your own house, but somehow it got out of the house and it came into my ears.
Oh, that's so funny because what you're saying inside your house, I'm hearing about. So how is that private?
Yeah, so it is my concern because it's somehow
Yeah.
leaving your house and traveling all the way to my ears.
That would be like saying, like if a parent was teaching their kid, was saying bad words or something in their own house, and then teacher says like, hey, your kid's been like using a lot of swear words. And they're like, well, I can say whatever I want in the privacy of my own home. It's like, well, yeah, but it's going to get out when you have kids.
Yeah,
They're little parrots.
they are. Oh my gosh, they
Yeah.
are.
She again told me she could say whatever she wanted in her own house, and I was just too tired to argue. I told her if my brother came to me again to tell me she'd been complaining about me, I would stop picking him up and just see him during my mom's visitations with him. She was very huffy but agreed and went back inside, slamming the door in my face. This should be the last update. I'm just going to tolerate Amelia in order to maintain contact with my brother because I don't care about her antics and I have enough other things going on. I'll continue only communicating with Amelia and Jeff when necessary, and hopefully nothing else will come out of this. Thanks for the support, y'all. And that is the end of that story, folks.
Baller move.
Yeah, you're doing great, OP. You're doing great.
Yeah. This.
I think that was kind of like the best thing that you could have done.
Yeah, good step by step. Check in with the school. Check in with the teacher.
Yeah.
Confronting the mom. Is there a way for you to step back from? See, the thing though is if you step back and don't help as much, it's gonna directly affect the brother.
Well, yeah, you get less contact with brother. So
And
I think
that's-
OP's strategy here of just being like, if you don't respect me, I'm not gonna drive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you need me to drive. Because
Yeah.
if they didn't need her, then they'd do it you know.
They'd say you can't ever pick him up again.
Yeah,
Bye.
exactly. But they need her to pick him up.
Such a silly way of trying to get an apology out of OP,
Yeah.
and then it just blows up in your face
Yep.
and doesn't work.
Silly, silly. But that's the end of that story and the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And see you tomorrow.